How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. We gotta continue right off where we last off. Last left off. Blah 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 blah. And that's not it. There we go. Class 3-2. Noodle stall. Guy selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stall outside. Or something. Or something. His non-committable nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine. You do borders. You have surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab the brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her work. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Keiji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whispers conspiratorially, though. Okay, man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him. In any case, is that why you're here? Obviously. It sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We better stick together, man. It's a harsh school, a harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied. I'm sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work. Undercover. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being so close a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off a sign as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Well, according to this watch, it's only, 1:10 p.m.? Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend even to there, just how much of her body was burned? I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I meant the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile she smiles. Oh, cute. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater, for the decoration being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We have finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hisao. Hanako, is there any way I can thank you? It's fine. Beat sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, I just finished. He carefully slides his sign onto the empty section of the shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out the door. See ya, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed, the classes planned this year were ambitious, maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice though. She's right, it shows that a lot of work has gone into them. My, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the garden look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it is late, that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms trying to ike the most of of the approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me kind of off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seemed slightly irritated as she remembered Shizune. Obviously, I'm willing to discuss it any further. I glanced to Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is unsurprisingly evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case. The change of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine my old school's festival were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals as such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That'd go way towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. They both give polite nods before sitting off to the women's dorm, just next to the guys. As is to be expected at such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise that I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emi is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Is it too bright? I have my window curtains open so I don't use lights inside. As you can see, I'm recording at daytime. Yes. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this is my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some stuff of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emi has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up some good sweat. A good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought, like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. Shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on. I found myself suddenly grabbed and yanked into the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring every day's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Amy moves with an effortlessness that I find inviolable. It's incredible. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We're on the track and start on our second lap. Amy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Another question. Another save. Well, you take. What do you mean? Will he stop when I say take it easy, or will I say go for it to like push himself a little more? I mean, you should try to like. Oh, okay, go for it. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Amy pull ahead? I speed up. The second slap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Amy looks back at her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Amy laughs without breaking her stride no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way you're going to play things, I increase my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning, and my legs are starting to question just what the hell am I think I'm doing? Lactic acid screams in my muscle, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind, because of that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires smilingly, just when we started playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast! How the hell does she keep it? It's like a string pulling at my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and... Oh, right. His heart condition. Before I can think of anything else, it's like, oh shit, the track disappears under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down the clutch of my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Amy whirls around and her eyes widen. Hisao! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Ugh. Nothing, just keep your breathing steady. Calm down, don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing. No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Amy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself. Oddly, even the matter of fact, it makes Amy frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to the decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You got to see the nurse. Amy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse to shoulder Amy's offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed of my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Amy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition. Though at this point it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own, without being a bother to everyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Amy crashes into the office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine! What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he comes and sips his coffee mug, but lays it down after following Amy's gaze to me, looming in the doorway. Hisao! What brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing his chest, and I thought I just killed that. Oh wait! I didn't press anything! Easy there, Amy. Relax, calm down. Hisao, what happened? I don't know. We were running and then my chest started hurting like the time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You got to be more careful, Hisao. I was being careful, I just come to think of it. I just got into the race with him. But the member of the track team doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? That is... I was racing Amy. Amy, is this true? Amy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it out loud, and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs his forehead with one hand tiredly. Amy, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were just running, and Amy started to pull away, and so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer of patience to some god or another, looks back down to the both of us. So, you're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now, come on, Isao. I got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room where as it turned that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. Tired. Or it might be just from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest. We'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lie down in the infirmary bed. Yeah, I'm not gonna go back and change my decision. I'm gonna go with the flow like I said before. I choose what I choose and I'll go with that. Even if it seems bad, I gotta go with it. A thoroughly miserable Amy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in their other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you, again with a decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it to you, okay? Something really good. I started with you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. We? Yep, the weather's nice, so the roof's the great spot for lunch, you know? I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great! See you there! Am I starting on a path there? I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains. He drew to me. He drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. I can't read. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy lazy motions, like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like a soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer, and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it! Not in a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal, even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex to push it away, to keep things out inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Amy to see it. Stupid. I have to be more careful, or I will end up in the hospital again, or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. I wake up in front of the computer. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation. The nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seems to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, Isao. Oh, fine. Climb down from the bed then, and let's see how you're doing. Don't. I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by my arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly. Is what I was going to say. Just sit there, I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intuitions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption on my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased or unhappy. You're alright. Hot. Head stop spinning? Yeah. Good. How are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, he saw. I swallowed the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking to myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if I said "told you so" or something, but he doesn't. I can try and help you keep your health, but ultimately, the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, enough for you, teacher, to avoid an interrogation. I take the slip of favor he's offering and then make my leave, as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear you. But hear you. There is some way to get to school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go on from the exit that I know works. I step downstairs at the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. The halls are quiet as the courtyard was, naturally. So since everyone is in class, I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Moto calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nakai. Moto seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as I interrupted his flow of something. Judging from the rambling lectures his classes tend to be, that might be the cause. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Moto takes it and nods and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me some kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug as she gestured me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lectures about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. Do you have electricity? I know about that shit! As I am an electrician and stuff. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone burst out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what? The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bell. Everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I join the floor and grab a lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Not really an odd place. I mean, it's pretty much a cliche place to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. And the face behind all the crowd emerges. Eventually the torrent subsided. I stepped tentatively out into the hallway. Only to be met by Amy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Oh hi, Isao. Great timing. I have super extra lunch today. As promised, let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly being used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door complete with missing padlock. I wonder who in the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Amy shoves the door open and steps being into the sunlight. Suddenly a tall dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Amy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Well, it's obviously who it is. Eek! Hello! Chaps, you scared me, Rin! Wait, isn't she? Hello! Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Amy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Amy. She's a friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Amy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Amy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stare at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. Oh, there we go. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks as I pass by. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of a big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or to get their senses overloaded by neon lights of traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine. Look at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfect clear cerulean sky. Cerulean... The cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers. Not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Amy settles on the bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view! Amy suppresses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of it, and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch, as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, it looks really good. Thanks, I make it myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food in her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am right now. Will I ever get used to sizes such as this? Well, yeah, I would. I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing. I would think it's awesome. Maybe I'm just weird. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Amy tearing into her lunch as if what had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Amy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I nearly choked on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech! Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. I guess they're good friends. So I struggled to think of a small talk and settle in this obvious question. How did you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emi answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd come to complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emi giggles at my confusion. Oh my god, my character's stupid. Put us together and we got all our limbs. Get it? Ah. So I started having Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emi seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. Save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The commission dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. Okay, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Oh, I'm gonna... Yeah, someone mentioned that I should do this game much more often. And seeing that how many games I have running right now, yeah, will I be able to do that? Yep, leave me with a high five. Here we go. Boom! Yeah, he's gonna appear. Oh. Ah!